Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Richard MetalFan Interviews, episode 24. Just wrapped up an interview with Brody from Rivers of Nile, and returning to the show, we got my buddy Scott from Carnifex. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Richard. How are you?
Doing well. Well, you're pretty much Richard MetalFan alumni because you were at the show back in July at Nashville, and now we're here in good old ATL. How's it been? It's also your first time playing at the center stage because you've always played Masquerade a bunch.
Yeah, first time at center stage, but it looks like a cool place. It looks like a nice place to see a show, to be honest with you. Like, I was kind of like, shit, I want to see a show here, you know?
Yeah, I remember I saw like POD a couple weeks ago. Go here, it was pretty sick, and like it's like almost 3 stages, just like the Masquerade. There's this venue, which is the big one, kind of like its own heaven, and then there's the Loft, which is an upstairs, a little smaller place, and then there's the Vinyl, which is a little smaller place. Okay, so, but anyway, you got pretty much last time we talked, you didn't have your new album yet, but now we get to finally talk about it, which is called Gravesite Confessions, which is out now. Can you talk about like the whole writing and recording process, how that all came to be and all that good stuff?
Yeah, well, it kind of seems like the past now, but yeah, it's back in 20, right when the tours got canceled, we pretty much got straight to writing. So we started writing in April of 20. And we pretty much wrote from April all the way through the rest of the year. And then we started recording in January, February. I think we did all our tracking, somewhere right in there, March. And then we turned the record in April. So it was a pretty concentrated effort, which was actually enjoyable. It was nice to just be able to focus on the studio. So hopefully we can do something like that again for the next one.
Awesome. And would you just consider this kind of just a direct follow-up to World War X, or do you think it is almost kind of like a new beginning for Carnifex in a way?
I wouldn't call it a follow-up to World War X, no. No, I would say, you know, it's kind of like we're in like the 3.0 phase of Carnifex right now. And so I would say it is part 1 of, you know, 3.0. So it's 3.1.
Ooh, 3.1. And I feel like obviously you guys are labeled as Deathcore. I feel like Deathcore has pretty much evolved over the years, like going from, of course, Carnifex, like Suicide Silence and Whitechapel, and now we got the next generation with like Lorna Shore and Shadow of Intent and band, and it's like that I feel like Carnifex itself has like its evolution from like Dead of My Arms to now Gravesite Confessions. Like I feel like if you listen from one album to the other, I feel like you all has evolved. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. You know, really, because it's like, you know, we're basically just self-taught musicians, you know, so it's us getting better at being artists and at being musicians as we go. So I think you're definitely going to see that evolution, especially across 16 years.
All right. And I feel like all your albums kind of always feels like the movie The Butterfly Effect. I feel like when I listen to it, I feel like Dead in My Arms, I go back to like 2007, like Disease and the Poison 2008, and so on and so forth. Do you agree with that?
So you're saying like each album kind of dovetails into the next one?
Yeah, kind of like you feel like you're in that whole time, that point when the album was released.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying, like kind of a full circle thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know, I do see that because, you know, we started as a 4-piece. We're a 4-piece now. Yeah. So I think it. You know, it's like the 3 of us wrote Dead in My Arms, and the 3 of us wrote this record. You know, so it's like it feels pretty similar. Yeah.
All right. And when it comes to like songwriting, when you captured like the moment, do you find it harder, like the longer you work on an idea, the harder it is to like maintain that original concept?
Well, you know, it can be a challenge to like, you know, do everything you're known for, but then also have something new. So if you think about it, it's kind of it's like, let's say your band is McDonald's, right?
I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's like okay, so everybody wants the Big Mac,
right?
But they want something else too. So it's like your burger always has to be a Big Mac, but then always something else too, and that can be challenging. It can be challenging to do that because it's like, how much more do you add before it's not the Big Mac anymore? You know, then all of a sudden you're like, well, this is something else. So it's always kind of a balancing act, I think, for any bands really, to really go from like go through rather, 5, 6, 7, 8 albums where there is an expectation to grow and evolve, but also not just become a different band. So it's always a challenge.
All right. And kind of going with lyrics, do you need to hear music in order to come up with lyrics, or do you ever have like a lyrical idea or concept in mind and that can determine the outcome of the music itself?
No, they're kind of, separate in a way, or at least like, they evolve off of each other. So I'm always writing lyrics, I always write down some lines, and whether it's those lines make it into the song exactly, or they get, edited to fit the song, or just be better, whatever. I always got lyrics going, and then when we were doing music, I think you can really build from like the middle out on music, so you kind of know where your anchors are in a song, and then if you feel like you got a hook lyrically, you try to line that up with your anchors. So I think they go one after each other, but it's in different steps. So like when the music is first written, it's not completely done, and when the lyrics are first written, they're not completely done. But when they meet each other, they both get modified to enhance each other one.
Awesome. So do you tend to leave lyrics open to interpretation, or do you try to engage the listener into what the songs are about?
Well, I try to pull them in, yeah. I suppose they can be interpreted in a number of ways, of course. You put your own perspective on them. But, yeah, I try to absolutely write for the listener.
All right. Got 2 more questions for you. You ready for the hardest question of all?
I'm ready.
How do you know when a song is done?
When you like it.
Good, just that it. I just love that. That's the best answer I've heard.
I've written a lot of songs.
All right. All right. And the last question I wanted to ask is, I pretty much love how you pretty much express like your songs, but you also wrote a comics as well. Have you ever thought about like expressing like your vision through like other mediums, like of course in the books or in movies?
Yeah, I've definitely had the thought. I did the graphic novel Death Dreamer. That was trying to get a narrative story out there. Definitely written a bunch of pilots and scripts and stuff like that. But the thing about Hollywood is just it's very hard to get someone to write you that check to go shoot your thing. So being as focused on Carnifex as I am, it doesn't really allow me to kind of doggedly pursue. But it's basically just another music industry. So just as hard as you have to work for this, you would have to work for that. And it's kind of tricky.
All right. So before we go, I just want to thank you for this interview. Is there just anything else you would like to promote with the release of Gravesite Confessions in terms of new tours, just knocking on wood if it happens?
Yeah, stream the record wherever you can. Pick it up where you can. Get a shirt if you can. We're out with Black Dahlia Murder right now. Right after this, we're doing a headline tour with Enterprise Earth and Of Sulfur. And
I'm debating on coming up to that Birmingham, Alabama date.
I hope you do. So try to come out to that. And yeah, we'll see you on the road.
Awesome. Thank you, Scott. Once again, everyone, Scott from Carnifex. We'll see you next time.